Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 9 of What If Naruto was from the two greatest clans. Remember to get this one to 200 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also go ahead and check out the new episode of What If Naruto's a Smart Prodigy that I posted over on Anime King 2. Later on, I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Orochimaru was Naruto's father, so stay in tune for that and I hope you guys enjoy. And on this channel, I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto was sent to the Marvel world, so stay in tune for that as well guys, and I do hope you guys enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you. So without further ado, let's begin this new episode. Start the intro.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their nails.
So, the last time we left off, Haku woke up as she found herself in a strange room. As she saw Naruto sitting there, she attacked him. As she tried to hit him multiple times. As she got over him and started to punch him as he didn't fight back. As he let out all of her anger on him. As she told him to go ahead and kill her, seeing that she doesn't have a purpose anymore. But Naruto told her he will not do that, as she cursed at him, as she pulled one of his kunais and placed it to her throat. But he quickly grabbed her hand, stopping her from doing anything, as she asked him why, as he told her that he would be here for her, and he would take her back to Konoha, as she told him that people always promise things, but they always let you down. But he told her he will never let her down, no matter what, as Haku wondered if she could really trust him. After the group left, the bridge was named the Great Sharingan Bridge, seeing that the four of them that came here, all of them had the Sharingan, and they protected the wave and gave it a new hope that they desire, and got Gato's reign to decease. As they enter in the office back at Konoha, Minato wondered who was that girl, as Naruto told him that she's going to be a part of the family now, as Kushina was in there as well, as she looked at Naruto with a skeptic look on her face, as Naruto told her that he brought her here, as both of them were surprised, wondering if Naruto kidnapped someone and just brought them here. But after explaining the story, the both of them were still not deciding what yet to do, as Naruto didn't ask them anything, he just went ahead and do it. So after going back to the Senju compound, Minato and Kushina talked for a long while, as Kushina already made up her mind to adopt the girl into the family, as she wanted a daughter as well, as Minato and her had a talk, as they came to agreement to adopt her, as they heard something rumbling, as it was Naruto, as they told him he can come out now, as Naruto was happy as he hugged the both of them and headed off, as Navi was talking to Haku, as Haku changed her appearance and showed her real feminine side since she doesn't have to hide it anymore, as she came out in a beautiful dress that made Sasuke blush, but Naruto punched him in the shoulder. 2 months passed as the group has been doing their missions, as Kakashi came to them and told them that he wanted to put them in the Chunin exams, but like usual he was late, as the group was angry at him as they left while taking the papers. They then came up on Kumo and the Sand, cursing at each other, as Naruto accidentally came into the middle to stop them from fighting Kankuro and Karu, as he accidentally touched Karu's breast. She literally wanted to kill him, as Naruto had to push her back to stop her. As Yujito told her to stop, they didn't came here for a battle, as Karu told him that she would make him pay in the Chunin exams. Meanwhile, all of that was going on. Konan entered the village with a group of rain ninjas. Her objective was to see this Uchiha Naruto, as after overhearing the conversation with Madara, Pain had told her to go and find this Uchiha Naruto, as he wanted to see if the boy was truly what he set out to be. So yeah guys, that was basically last what we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So let's begin this new episode. We begin this episode with Naruto as the tuning exams already begin. Currently, they're at the forest of death, the entire group. Everyone was staring at Naruto. Well, not him exactly. They were staring at a giant dragon right beside him. As Naruto told Keiji all about tuning exams, and Keiji wanted to attend, people from other villages who didn't know about it were surprised as hell. The Konoha ninjas, like the Konoha Genins, they already know about the dragon, since Keiji has been flying around the village, and Minato let out an announcement. "What the hell?" said Amoy, as he looked over. "Is that a dragon?" "I thought those things were extinct," said Karu. "How the hell did he get a dragon?" said Amoy. Meanwhile, a disguised Orochimaru, who has dressed up as a grass ninja, was also staring at the dragon, as Kabuto had told him about this, as Orochimaru had a great plan for that dragon as well, as everyone thought that dragons were extinct, but it seems like this boy managed to get his hands on one, to get a dragon DNA and see how they tick. "Alright everyone, calm down. It's just a dragon," said Anko as she saw that no one was paying attention to her. "I am not just a dragon," said Keiji as he flapped his wings. "I am as majestic as I seem. So all of you peasants shall bow down in front of me." As Naruto's sweat dropped. "You still have that attitude," Naruto said. "I am right after all," Keiji said, as he looked at everyone, as that made them more surprised to see him talking, as everyone was just gaping at the dragon. "Will you all focus?" Anko said, as all of them turned their attention back to the front. "Hey," said one of the grass ninjas, "isn't that supposed to be illegal, having something like that in tuning exams?" "I am not a thing, you stupid human," Keiji said. "Put some respect when you're talking about me." "Well," Naruto said as he scratched the back of his head, "it's actually a summon. My personal summon, so it's not illegal. Isn't it, Anko?" Naruto asked. "As long as it is your summon, it's not," Anko said. "Now let's get on with the exam. You guys already passed the first phase of the exam, but this is more difficult," she said. "Before we get into anything, you will have to sign these waivers." "Waivers? What kind of waivers?" the people question. "Well, just to tell that Konoha isn't responsible for your death if you die." Meanwhile, everyone was freaking out. Naruto looked around, as he saw Sasuke and Samantha paying attention, but that was not what he was focused on. It was the rain ninjas, as they were staring at him intensely. One girl and two boys, all of them just focusing on him alone. Even when he looked back at them, they were still staring at him. He then turned as he saw Karu, that girl that he actually touched her small breasts, was also glaring at him, looking like she wanted to kill him. Naruto then sensed danger as he tilted his head as a kunai fly past him. As the kunai stabbed into the ground, Anko appeared behind him, the kunai at his neck. "You know, kid, even though you're the Hokage's son, don't think that you're high and mighty. You think that this forest will not scare you," she said, "because this is a real dangerous place." As Anko then felt something pressed up against her side, she then smirked. "Well, I guess you're not lacking in your training," she said. "But don't think that this forest is not a scary place." As she then walked past him and went back up to the front, Naruto looked over at Samantha, as he saw she had a look on her face as he walked over to her. As he placed a hand on her shoulder, she turned and she saw him that smile on his face. "It's gonna be alright," he said, as he remembered he and her entered the forest for the first time, and they almost died by that creature. As that brought up bad memories, because when thinking about that, she thought about her mother, as her mother was there to tell her that everything would be fine. And now to think that her entire clan was gone because of her brother. She shook it off. There was no time to think about that. "I'm fine," she said, giving him a fake smile, as she was holding in the sadness. After Anko finished explaining, Team 7 went and got their heaven scroll, as Anko got everyone to line up in front of their gates. It took 5 minutes before Anko said, "Begin!" The group then rushed inside. Meanwhile that was going on, Minato was currently in his studies, as in front of him was Itachi Uchiha. As Minato was looking at Itachi, as he was just thinking over the information he just gotten, the Akatsuki's are after the tail beasts. They have partnered us up with teammates. My teammates is Kisame, one of the former 7 Mist swordsman. Has they gotten their hands on any yet? Minato asks. "No. Somehow they're delaying for now." but I believe they will start the process soon. As Minato clenches fists, this is really troublesome thinking about this, as his wife is a Jinjulki, holding a powerful steel beast. Do you know their true goal? Said Minato. Yes. The leader is trying to bring peace to this world. Peace? Said Minato, surprised. They want to take all of the power and create a powerful weapon so that they could destroy the other nations and build up the remaining and turn it into their own image. Because of the other nation weakened and broken, they will swoop in and fix everything at their state and take control over everything. That's their way of bringing peace. That's all I have for now, Itachi said. I have to get back soon enough. I don't want Kisame to start questioning my whereabouts. That is good for now. Just keep me up to contact. How are they? Itachi asks. Well, they're doing fine. They already passed the first phase of the Chunin exams. I believe they're on to the second right now. They should be doing it right now as well. As Minato saw a sad look came on Itachi's face, as he walked over and placed a hand on Itachi's shoulder. Don't worry, everything is fine for now. Itachi nodded. Thank you, he said. I must be going. As Minato nodded as Itachi burst into a flock of crows, as they all vanished. Meanwhile, that was going on. Standing on the Hokage's monument was Konan. As she relayed the information to her team, she wanted them to push the kids, especially Uchiha Naruto, as she wanted to know exactly what he's capable of. The exam has just started and her team has not made contact with him yet. As she's just looking over Konoha, as this place is a lot different from the rain. Quite different indeed. Suddenly someone flashed behind her. Can I help you with something? She asks. Oh, I'm just wondering, what are you doing up here? Said Jiraiya. I am just taking in the sights of Konoha, she said. As Jiraiya walked forward, as he saw the headband that she was wearing. Rain Ninja, huh? So you were sent here by Hanzo. I hope you don't have any negative emotion towards me, Jiraiya said. She then turned towards him to face him fully. The moment she did that, Jiraiya had flashes of someone he met a long time ago. Oh, I have no such intention towards you, she said. I must be going now. As Jiraiya just stood there not saying a word, as she simply walked away, not revealing her ability to turn the paper. As Jiraiya wondered, no, it couldn't be. She would have surely recognized him and said something, but it can't be, he wondered to himself, because he got reports that those kids were dead. Meanwhile in the forest, it has been an hour since Team 7 entered the forest. We haven't run into any team or gotten any scroll yet, said Samantha. As she looked around, it seems like everyone is in hiding. Well, it does look like we're gonna get a scroll for the first day, Sasuke said. It looks that way, said Naruto. You see anything? He asked, as he looked up as Keiji was flying. Keiji was looking around. Indeed I do, Keiji said. There is a team heading your way at top speed. Can you see from where? Naruto asked. Well, it looks like the rain headband that you showed me. Yes, it's definitely the rain. Perfect, Naruto said. Let's get ready for them, as he turned towards Samantha and Sasuke. Suddenly, the three rain ninjas flashed in front of them. They were wearing strange devices on their faces, like those things that you use to go underwater. They didn't even say a word. The group rushed towards Naruto with incredible speed, not even focusing on Samantha or Sasuke. But Samantha and Sasuke dashed forward as well and pulled out kunai to block their strikes, as they had some strange metallic rod. As they swiped at Samantha and Sasuke, the third one jumped towards Naruto, trying to pierce him in the shoulder, but Naruto jumped out of the way, as the man stopped and did a roundhouse kick towards Naruto's face. Naruto grabbed his leg in mid-air and swinged him around, as Naruto tossed him up into the air. The man then came face to face with Keiji, as Keiji struck him with his tail. The man's body slammed into the ground, a harsh boom. The other two then jumped back as they went through hand sign, water style. Water spear, they said, as they lifted up their construction and blasted water from their mouth. As a spear of water went towards Sasuke and Samantha. Fire style. Fire stream, the both of them said time, as they release a fire blast connected with the water spear. Even though the water should seem more powerful, the fire blast started to engulf the water, steaming up the water, turning it into smoke. As the two rain ninjas quickly jump away, as they rushed around Samantha and Sasuke and head straight for Naruto. The both of them leaped up in the air as they came down the ox kick. Naruto brought up his hand as the force hit his hand that shattered the ground underneath him. The trees that he was standing on, tree roots. Both rain ninjas then sent a knee towards Naruto's face, but Naruto removed his hands as he grabbed onto their knees. He then plummeted the both of them to the ground, but the both of them already finished going through hand sign. Water style, water bullet, as two powerful water blasts were coming towards Naruto's face. As Naruto quickly tilted his head back and flipped away. As he landed, the both of them picked up their self as they run through hand sign again. Water style, water dragon they said, as they blasted water from their mouth again that created a ferocious dragon that merged into each other to create a more powerful one. Naruto held out his hand as he started to glow with chakra as the two rain ninjas look at it. As Naruto leaped forward and sank his fist right into the dragon's face, the entire thing exploded into water. As Naruto wasn't finished there, as he came out of the sky with the ox kick, the moment his leg touched the ground, a huge explosion went off, blowing back the two of them. The rain ninjas were soaring back in the air as Naruto moved with tremendous speed and appeared behind one, as Sasuke appeared behind another one and kicked him straight up in the air. Sasuke and Naruto kicked the both of them up, as the both of them eyes went wide when they were dropped harshly to the ground by a drop kick from Samantha, as she drop kicked the both of them in their stomach. As they hit the ground, a boom, as the both of them were knocked out right away. As Samantha landed, "That was strange," she said. "Yeah, it was," Sasuke said. "They only seem to be focused on you." As Naruto picked up himself, "I noticed them in the exams. When we were out in the fields, they were watching me strangely. I don't know why though. Maybe it's just because they wanted to test you and see if you were strong as your father or something." As Samantha started to go through their pockets. "Jackpot," she said, as the both of them turned to see her with the earth scroll. "Our first try. Let's get the hell out of here," she said to them. As Naruto looked up as Keiji was in the air, Keiji seemed to have a look on his face that troubled Naruto. "Hey Keiji, what's wrong?" Naruto asked. "I feel something dark," Keiji said. "Dark? I don't exactly know what it is, but it's dark. An ominous presence. This forest is full of scary things, and a lot of dangerous people. So yeah, there's a lot of dark presence around here," Naruto said. "It's something different," Keiji said. As he landed beside Naruto, Keiji didn't know what it is, but he got on his nerve. "Come on, let's go," he said. As Naruto and Sasuke and Samantha walked over, as all three of them hopped on his back, as he started to fly them out of there. As they saw the tower ahead, "This was pretty easy," Naruto said. "I thought this would have taken a lot," but Naruto couldn't get to finish that sentence. The booming blast of wind came toward Keiji, but Keiji spun as he dodged a blast of wind. Multiple blasts of wind then came towards him, as he had to spin and maneuver through them. But to everyone's surprise, a large snake, it seemed to leap out of the forest, coming straight towards Keiji. As Keiji flexed his claws, ready to tear right through the snake. As he made contact with the snake opened its mouth, as the grass ninja was inside, and released a powerful blast of wind that smashed into Keiji and sent him spiraling down towards the ground. As Naruto and Sasuke and Samantha flipped away, as they landed on their feet. "You alright, Keiji?" Samantha asked, as she saw him drop terribly. "I'm fine," Keiji said as he got up. As he saw the giant snake landed and dig straight into the ground, but the grass ninja was standing right in front of them. "I'm afraid I can't allow you to leave yet, until I finish what I have to do." "Who the hell are you?" said Naruto as he stepped forward. Keiji raised his wing. "Stop, Naruto," he said. "Keiji," Naruto said, as he's never seen Keiji like this before. Something was definitely off about this guy. "But first thing first," the grass ninja said. as he turned towards Naruto. For now, I am not after you. What is that supposed to... But Naruto couldn't get to finish that sentence as the ground underneath him exploded. As a giant snake emerged, its mouth wide open ready to devour Naruto. But before it could, Keiji smashed right into it as he tackled the giant snake over to the side. As Keiji opened his mouth, as a large fireball came from it smashing into the snake. But to their surprise, the snake simply poofed away. The grass ninja smiled. You should have watched out for the second one, he said. With all of their attention on Keiji, the ground under Naruto's feet exploded again as another snake emerged this time, and it swallowed Naruto whole, along with all of the debris and everything that was around Naruto. The snake then dived back in the ground and started to take off. Keiji, you go get him, said Samantha. We will handle this guy. Keiji looked at Samantha and Sasuke. Something is off about him. Be careful, he said, as he flapped his wings and took off at top speed as he saw the ground being moved when the snake was traveling through it at fast speeds, trying to get Naruto out of there. Ah, the grass ninja said. Now that the interruption is gone. Well, I don't need him for the moment, but I believe I will need him soon. But for now, you two. As a sick smile came on the grass ninja's face. Meanwhile, Keiji was following after the snake that was moving so fast. As Keiji was right on top of him, Keiji flexed his claws as they were coated in lightning as he was about to tear through the ground. But before he could, he saw wood spikes erupted from the ground, tearing through the earth itself. As he then came to a stop, as he saw that it was the body of the snake that was ripped through all over. As Naruto emerged as the snake poofed away, the wood spikes then retracted back in the ground, as Naruto was wiping off a lot of saliva off of him. Damn it, he said as he flashed away the saliva, as his body was coated with it. Keiji, I believe you're right, something is wrong. As Keiji looked at Naruto curious, remember I told you about Orochimaru? Yes, Keiji said. He's the only one that can summon these snakes. Konoha doesn't have the contract, so it's gotta be him. Naruto then looked concerned. We have to wait Sasuke and Samantha, as he jumped on Keiji's back as Keiji took off with top speed. When the both of them arrived to the battlefield, it was already over. As Naruto came up on the side to see Sasuke writhing in agony, and Samantha was lying down on the ground unconscious, as Naruto saw a strange mark on her neck. Sasuke was clutching his neck in pain as he let out a primal scream as he collapsed unconscious. As Naruto looked over at Orochimaru, who had removed the skin from his face to show his real face. I'm sorry, my dear Naruto. I could not let the fight last long because you would just interrupt it, so I had to deal with them harshly. As Naruto looked over at Sasuke and Samantha to see cuts and bruises all over their bodies, as Naruto clenched his fist tight as blood started to come from his palm as his nails were digging into it. What did you do to them? He said. Oh, I just gave them a little gift because I saw the amount of hatred in them, even though it seemed to be diminishing. Because of you, I can say that. But they still want their revenge, and I can give them the power for them to get it. Soon enough they will come to me seeking the power, and I will grant it to them. The moment Orochimaru said that, Naruto's mind flashed on what Ragnarok told him, that people will be drawn down to darkness, and he should not let it happen to himself. I would give you that same gift, but no. You are too precious in this village. The hunt for me would be endless. So for now, I think the best thing I can do is to kill you. That will surely let Minato suffer. As Orochimaru regurgitated that sword, as he pointed at Naruto, his lower half turned into a snake as he slithered forward. Now die, he said as he struck at Naruto. But Keiji moved in front of Naruto as he opened his mouth at the right time, as a dose of lightning and fire combined disintegrate Orochimaru's top half. As Keiji looked down at him, but KJ couldn't react fast enough when Orochimaru burst out of his own side with his sword in his mouth as he drive it right through KJ. As Naruto watched on in shock, as KJ collapsed to the ground, Naruto's entire body was shaking out of fear and anger. Ah, the dragon. Orochimaru looked down at KJ. You know, these things are quite rare. I have never seen one in my life, so to know that you have one, you must be something indeed special. No one in Konoha has ever had the dragon contract. So I believe you must find the dragon liner or something like that. And you must did a deal with them or something. As KJ was getting up off the ground, but Orochimaru extended his hand as snakes wrapped around KJ's entire body and smashed him deeper into the ground. As Orochimaru started to squeeze KJ's neck, Orochimaru then heard the trees snap as Naruto vanished from his position. He moved off with such force the ground cracked underneath the weight. He appeared in front of him. Orochimaru was quite shocked as he saw something that made him jump away. As Naruto's fist buried down into the ground where he was, tearing everything apart. Ah, I see, Orochimaru said. You possess that crazy monstrous strength from Tsunade. Well then, before I kill you, let me see what else that you possess. As Naruto saw that KJ had been knocked out, as he looked over to see Samantha and Sasuke as well. As Naruto summoned 4 clones, 2 of them picked up KJ, as the other 2 went for Samantha and Sasuke. I don't know what you did to them, and what you just did to my friend is unforgivable, Naruto said, as he clenched his fists. Sanin or not, I'm gonna kill you. As he pulled a scroll from a pouch, he then opened it as he slammed his hand on it. Orochimaru watched in shock. The famous red habanero blade. It seems your mother has fully retired, boy, said Orochimaru, as Naruto gripped the hilt of the blade. Your mother used that blade to slaughter a lot of enemies, you know. That is why she was given the name the Red Habanero, because the only thing you saw when she was coming for you was her beautiful red hair. She and your father was quite the power couple back in the days. And that man, I disloathe him so much. My father told me what you tried to do. When you were leaving this village because of what the sick things they found what you did, you tried to take possession of his body, but you couldn't, because you fear his eyes. You're a coward, you just ran from this village. You call yourself a Sanin? You're just a cowardly snake, Naruto said, as he activated his Sharingan. When he did that though, he felt a bit of pain run through his body, as he didn't know why. This was the first time that happened since activating his Sharingan. As he looked up at Orochimaru, and for what you did to my friends, I'm gonna make sure you die today, Naruto said. Orochimaru watched with shock, as right in front of him this boy was doing something unbelievable. How is that even possible, Orochimaru said. But before he could elaborate, Naruto took off with tremendous speed and started to slash at him, as Orochimaru parried his slash and started to block with his own Kusanagi, taking the hits at full force. As Orochimaru could feel the tremendous power behind those hits. One swing of Naruto's sword ripped through trees, tear through the landscape, as Naruto was no longer holding back. But Orochimaru was still holding back to not draw too much presence to hear, so he wouldn't get caught. As he realized in this state, this kid was far stronger than both of them combined, Sasuke and Samantha. I should be taking him instead. Orochimaru reached out his hand as it morphed into snakes and tried to wrap around Naruto, but Naruto simply waved his katana, beheading all of the snakes. He then brought his leg down the powerful ox kick. Orochimaru tilted back his body, but Naruto flashed away in the sunshine. He appeared behind Orochimaru and swung around as the blade teared through Orochimaru's back. But Orochimaru turned into mud, a mud clone. Naruto's leg was then grabbed as it flipped him over, as Orochimaru's extended tongue grabbed him and flipped him up in the air. Orochimaru then appeared in front of him like a speed bullet. He then drove a powerful knee in Naruto's face that sent Naruto sailing backwards as he smashed into a tree. As Naruto was still holding on tight to his sword, he picked himself out. Well, I must say, if I wasn't here in these exams, I don't think any other genin could test you, my boy. You're very strong indeed. Don't call me your boy, Naruto said, as he felt it again, that pain in his eye. As he leaped forward though, as he brought down the sword, Orochimaru brought up Kusanagi. As Orochimaru was surprised when the ground underneath him shattered to pieces because Naruto brought down his sword with so much force. Orochimaru then stretched out his hand that turned into a lot of snakes and wrapped around Naruto as they smashed him down into the floor. But Naruto then swung his sword at Orochimaru. Orochimaru tilted his head as Naruto speaks through hand sign. Fire style. Fire dragon, he said, as he blasted a fire dragon from his mouth. The dragon roared as it smashed into Orochimaru, as Orochimaru was sent sailing into a tree that was burned into flames. Naruto leaped forward and grabbed his sword. As he held onto it tight, he infused it with wind and fire chakra. As the wind chakra made it sharp and the fire blazed around it, he then released 3 slashes as the wind fire slash teared through the air and collided with the spot that Orochimaru was in. Another huge explosion went off as Naruto started to huff and puff as he waited till the smoke and everything cleared. Impressive indeed, but I am still a Sanin and you're just a boy. A powerful strike slammed into Naruto's back that made him wince out in pain as the grip on his sword was loosened. But it wasn't done there as Orochimaru delivered several strikes to Naruto back, and then a powerful kick that sent Naruto skyrocketing. As Naruto was sent up into the air, Orochimaru flashed in front of him and delivered several jabs to his stomach as Naruto coughed up blood in mid-air. Orochimaru then did a spinning kick and drop kicked Naruto as Naruto's body hit the ground a boom. Orochimaru then landed a few feet away as he looked down at Naruto. I was going to kill you to cause Minato displeasure after his humiliation to me back then. But no, I want to see you grow because you'd indeed have hatred inside of you. But those 2 twins have it more because you haven't been broken. No one has taken everything away from you, like how they lost their entire clan and their mother and father in one night. They have the hatred that I desire, and that is why they will seek me out. But you need more growing up. You need to see what this world truly is. Naruto picked up himself as his sword was embedded into a tree. As Naruto slammed his hands together and went through hand sign that surprised Orochimaru, nativity of the trees. Orochimaru could only watch in shock as huge spikes burst out of the ground from every direction, as a few of them tear right through his body. He wasn't prepared for that, as he could only look at Naruto in shock. Now this was something even more interesting, as a smirk came on his lips as he coughed up blood. But he opened his mouth wide as another Orochimaru leaped out of it. But the moment he did, Naruto was in front of him, his fists glowing with chakra. Naruto's fist compacted into Orochimaru's face. A boom went off as Orochimaru's body thrust into the ground with so much force. The entire ground sank in. Naruto then created 5 clones. The first 2 clones went through hand sign, fire style, fire dragon jutsu, wind style, wind dragon, as the fire combined with the wind dragon, making it more ferocious. It smashed down on Orochimaru as the explosion was massive. Lightning style, tearing current, the third clone said, as he released electricity from his hand that came down as a bolt that rocketed through the forest and hit the ground. The other clone released a dragon made from the earth that fired off earth bullets that hit the ground in explosion, and a water dragon to finish him off. As the real Naruto sped through hand sign, wood style, wood evaporation chasm, he said, as multiple wood spikes erupted from the ground in front of him, all of them aiming towards Orochimaru as they fired off with a boom. As the entire area, the entire landscape was destroyed. As Naruto fell down to his knees, as he was huffing and puffing badly, as he just used a lot of his chakra, but he could still fight as he slowly picked himself up. But to his surprise, Orochimaru walked out of the smoke and the debris. He saw the silhouette, but Orochimaru then collapsed to the ground. As it was just the upper half, the smoke was hiding most of his body. His mouth then opened up wide as he came out of it, but he was still on the ground as he slowly picked up himself. To think, just a mere child can push me that hard. Even though I'm not going all out on you. I must say, you're truly impressive, Orochimaru said, as he coughed into his hand, as blood was in his hand. I believe I will let you live for now, just to pique my curiosity, because once I achieve what I truly want, it doesn't matter how strong you get, you won't be able to stand in my way. You're not going anywhere, said Naruto, as he leaped towards Orochimaru. Another time, Naruto, Orochimaru said, as he melted into mud, as Naruto's fist connecting with a tree, but Orochimaru was already gone. As Naruto started to curse, as he started to punch the ground. Damn it, damn it, damn it, he cursed out loud. As he then felt the effect of his body. As he winced in pain, his eyes returned back to normal. As he started pulling himself on the ground, he then remembered all of them. As he picked up himself, even though he was in tremendous pain, one of his clone's memories came back to him as they dispelled. About 10 minutes later, Naruto finally arrived at the location to see the unconscious Sasuke and Samantha and Keiji, but Keiji's body was healing. Even though it wasn't fast, Keiji and the dragons, they had a healing capacity, but it wasn't as fast as a Biju or anything like that. But his body was slowly healing, but he was unconscious. As Naruto was just happy that they were alive. But right now, if they were to be attacked by another team, they would be totally defenseless. As he collapsed on his knees, his body taking the full effect of the battle. I must keep them safe, he said. As Naruto then went through hand sign, wood style, 4-pillar prison, he said, as he slammed his hand on the ground. As the cave that they were in, a wood wall came up around it, as all the light faded from inside the cave, as the wood wall blocked all of them inside. Meanwhile that was going on, he's gonna be fine. You know he's the strongest kid in the village, right? Said Minato as he placed her arm on Kushina's shoulder. I know he's strong, but I'm still worried. What about the other villages? We don't know their power. And what about the other Jinchuriki, she said. Hearing that, Minato's mind drifted to what Itachi said to him. Minato, Kushina said. Sorry about that, he said. Just thinking. You're worried as well, right? You know that the other Jinchurikis are dangerous. And they're kids as well. What if they lose control? Kumo and the San would not send their Jinchurikis here if they would lose control like that. We have an arrangement with San. We're allies after all. And we have an agreement with Kumo even though we're not allies. And besides, the Raikage is coming here for the finals. Whether or not his kid passed into it. And in his letter, he was sure that his kids would pass into it. And he also told me that he wanted to talk to me about a proposal. A proposal? Said Kushina. Well, that is what his letter said. You think he wants to be allied with Konoha? After this long? Why now? Said Minato. I wonder if he's playing a scheme. You know, all those years ago, my mother suspected that it was Kumo who tried to take me. As Minato nodded, I believe that it was as well. They were the only one here for the fall meeting, this fake truce. And then you were attacked that night. She placed her arm around him. Look, you are here to save me, she said. As he smiled, I'll always be there to protect you, he said to her. As both of them shared a kiss, I know you will, she said. And don't worry, Naruto will be fine, he said to her. I hope you're right, she said. Time skip. What are we even doing here, Amoy said. We got our scroll. Let's go. Not until I find that jackass and kick his ass for what he did to me, said Karu. As they arrive at the scene, what did he really do to you back then? He told you it was a mistake. You don't have to go and bite the guy's head off. But he saw that you weren't replying to him. What the hell? As even Samui seemed a bit shocked. She that doesn't really show emotions by the scene in front of them. Well, I wonder what happened here, said Yujito. As they came upon the scene to see wood spikes. As they walked over, this isn't a part of the forest. As Samui touched it. You're right, it isn't, she said, looking at Yujito. But it can't be. This is the first Tsukage's Mokitan. But who could have possessed it to use it in here? I think we should get out of here, said Amoy. No, not until I find that jackass. I bet he has something to do with this. As she looked over, there's a trail, she said. Let's follow it. As she ran off before any of them could stop her. As Samui just sighed. Come on, Yujito said. We have to follow her. She's just hell-bent on hurting this guy. Because of one simple mistake. Sometime I can't deal with these troublesome women, said Amoy. You know that I'm a woman as well, said Yujito. Well, you're different, he said. And how so? Well, you don't act like Haru. It doesn't matter if they fight, Samui said. He will beat her. Huh? Said Yujito. Do you really think that little of us, that he would beat her? I'm just stating the facts. You haven't even seen his strength yet. What do you think? How do you exactly think that he's gonna beat her? Just you wait and see, said Samui. If Samui says it, that is right, said Amoy. I think we should just take her and get the hell out of here. No, I want to see if they fight for myself, if he's really gonna beat her. If you're right in your judgment. As Amoy sighed, as he just followed behind the two girls. Karu finally arrived, towards, it seemed like a wood dome. I bet he's inside here hiding, she said. Hey jackass! Come out and face me! It's time I kill you like I promised. As her sword scraped against the wood dome. Meanwhile inside, Naruto slowly opened his eyes. As she pulled out her sword outside. Alright then, if you're not gonna come out, I'll just break this down and come in and end you. But before she could do anything, the wood dome released spikes that nearly tear her to pieces. As it then collapsed downwards. As the group arrived as well to see him walking out of the cave. As Naruto's eyes landed on Karu. You still want to kill me, he said. Yujito and Samui noticed something about his tone. It was not like it before. It sounded emotionless. Of course I do. I told you I was going to kill you. Today is the day you die. Naruto looked down at the ground. I'm sorry, he said. Huh? What are you gonna be sorry for? When I kill you, she asked. Amoy also noticed something. Something was off. I can't afford to play around with you. As the group noticed, chakra just swirling around his body as it was merely focused on his fist. But Karu still stepped forward. I don't care how strong you claim to be or act. I'm gonna cut you down, she said. As he slowly raised his head, the look in his eyes surprised them. But guys, we'll be ending this episode right here. If you want to see the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. Stay in tune for the rest of the what is coming your way. And I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. But for now, I'm out of here. Peace.